I can tell you that the Pulse Nightclub is just about 2 blocks from where we are. This is the media staging area where you're getting updates from law enforcement. If I step out, I want to let you see the area.
He's very thankful to be at the hospital right now waiting surgery. And as far as the time that went by in between that time, for him it must have been like 1 or 2 minutes of like constant panic, because he said like when the fear was setting in, he kind of like, was deciding whether or not he's going to stay still on the floor or run. He chose to run. So that's why he's alive right now.
Did you run with other people, I guess?
That, I think that he ran by himself, but like there was so much chaos going on, he wouldn't have been able to make anything happen, and I think that's where he ran into Josh, and then Josh is the one who took him over to the hospital. So that's how that worked out. So at least now he's awaiting, he has to fast around 12 o'clock to be ready for surgery tomorrow in the morning, and I think that's when they're going to remove all the fragments, so he should be better on recovery. And that's how that's going on right now.
Do you know how many people were working with him?
I don't know how many people were working, but from what I understand when I was at the hospital earlier, that they said that 9 more people had died. One of the nurses said that 9 more people had died, so that we think 50 people died on the internet right now, but that might later be released to be 59 people that are dead as a result of dying in the hospital right now. So I don't know if that information is officially confirmed, but that might be coming soon. My name's Kurt. Enzo, E-N-Z-O.
It says Michael Alonso with HO and CNN as well. Who's coming on there today? You were retelling the story of a friend of yours who was wounded and
Yeah, he's a friend of mine, and the crazy thing is, this is only 6 minutes away from downtown Orlando, and in downtown Orlando is where me and Rodney and other friends would hang out, and that's just so close to home for us. So when I got the call or the text message that he got shot 3 times, I figured that out earlier today when I was trying to figure out which one of my friends may have been affected by this, because out of the 50 people reported dead, I haven't seen the names released yet, but I'm willing to bet that they're UCF students. I'm also a UCF student, and it's just crazy to see how close this is to home. So when we were thinking about last night, my friend Leslie was performing at the beach, which was only 6 minutes away from here. I was supposed to be out there, and then I get news later in the night when I decided not to go out that people are getting shot. So I was actually with a friend, and when I was with her, she's a dancer, one of these folks. She told me that her friends were texting her talking about there was a hostage situation going on right now at Pulse, and 25 people had been murdered. And then she was texting people who were texting people who are being held hostage at the time. And that just kept going on, and me and her were so panicked, and we were trying to figure out what was going on. And I've been on the phone basically all day today talking to people about who has been affected by this.
When did you find out a friend has been wounded?
I found out about this information, about the shooting, around, I want to say 2 or 3 in the morning. But I found out my friend had got shot earlier today when I first came here. One of my friends named Brandon, he texted me from work and saying, hey, Rodney got shot 3 times. And then I've been trying to piece together that story, so I talked to some people out here about what happened. And then I went over to Orlando Regional, and that's where I got the chance to talk with him. And he had a lot of information about the shooting. I can't wait for him to recover so he can come out and tell his side of the story about what happened.
And Rodney was wounded when he had to make the decision to run, or?
Right, yeah. He was already, so according to his story, he was already in Pulse, and he was bartending because he's a bartender there. And we talked about whether or not he felt like it was a hate crime, and he said that maybe not, because there was a parade apparently going on at the time, so he's not sure why Pulse would have been a target at all, because it's not necessarily the most foot trafficked area in the nightlife, but it definitely does get its attention. So he said that he was working like it was a normal night, and then in front of him was a girl that he was serving who possibly was killed by the shooter. And then in between that time that he was serving her, he basically turned around to grab drinks to serve as a bartender. And when that happened, he had got shot 3 times. And after he got shot 3 times, he hit the ground behind the bar. And then that's when he had to figure out whether or not he was going to run to save his life or stay and wait for the shooting to be over. But one thing that definitely seems to have made him help make that decision is that he said that he kept hearing the shots go off nonstop. So it was shot after shot after shot, and he was expecting it to stop, but it didn't. So I think once he realized that in his instinctual mind, he decided to run as fast as he could outside of Paul. So when he ran, that's when he met up with Josh, and Josh is the one who got him to get admitted into Orlando Regional.
Tell me about what this moment is like for you right now. Is it surreal for you to be in this place with the world watching and you retelling a story like that?
It's crazy to see that this is America's largest shooting in history. It's almost right now, it feels kind of unfathomable, because if you think about it, we've never experienced any type of terror this tragic. This is, in the numbers wise, this is like the most impactful thing that has happened in this nation. So it definitely hasn't sank in yet, but I've already talked to people who literally right now are telling me that they feel afraid to leave their home. And to see that going on is kind of like I told you, I do some nightlife things. So me and this DJ Sheen Boogie we're putting on a show on Friday, and like we have people that look up to us, and we're deciding like whether or not we wanted to keep put on the show to show the city that we're not afraid of things like this to happen, or if we're just going to cancel and go home like we are afraid. And so far we've decided that we are going to continue, but just to know that people are afraid to go outside here in Orlando City is too big to really fathom right now.
Chris, the Orlando Police Department said they're not releasing any more information tonight. So there are people still unaccounted for, people who still don't know if their loved ones or friends or relatives were inside or at the hospital among the dead or injured. Do you share that frustration that people just don't know right now?
Well, I did find out at the hospital that there may be, right now on the internet, I've seen on Facebook on my phone that it reports 50 are dead, but from what I understand, 9 more people died in the hospital, that's what someone told me, but I don't know if that information is confirmed yet, but you might be seeing that coming soon.
Are there a lot of people you know who still don't know about their friends that they're unaccounted for?
I've been piecing it together the best that I can, and I spoke with a friend named Joy, and she said one of her friends are dead from this incident, and I'm just trying to piece together all the people that I might know that have been hurt in this incident. And I talked to the cops earlier today, and they said they haven't been able to release that information yet. So right now, for me and all the other people that live here, we're all trying to still figure out who was affected, because we don't know everyone that was hurt.
And your fear is that a lot of these were students?
I fear that I know the most of them, because they work in the nightlife, I work in the nightlife. It's a very small community once you all know each other.
Could you take us through one more time about what happened to your friend when he started to hear that gunfire before he was hit? He's behind the bar.
Right. Well, like he said, when he was behind the bar, he said that he noticed that the shooter was coming in, and
How did he notice?
He said that he didn't see him as a shooter at the time, but he saw the guy coming in. Like, he knows who the guy was, and he knows that the guy was very, very calculated at taking his time, and that's why the shots were so consistent. He said that after he served the girl, and after he was going around to get the drinks, and after he got shot 3 times, he heard consistent shooting. It just wouldn't stop. And again, that's what I think led to his decision that he was going to run for his life.
Where was he shooting from? Did he tell you?
From what I understand, piecing it together, the assailant came in from the door, didn't get too far past entering the door, and then he started unloading the rounds, and then that's when he got shot. And he says in order, the shootings happened very fast, and he thinks that he was around, like if you were to put it in numbers, he was around the 30th, 40th person to probably have been shot, because what he said is the shots were so loud and so fast, and it seemed so calculated that's where people just started dropping so fast. And he said that he thinks that obviously there would still be blood on the walls from people getting shot.
And your friend is behind the bar at this point. I'm sorry, your friend's name is?
Well, his name's Rodney.
Rodney's behind the bar. And he's shot a number of times?
Three times.
Where was he shot?
He said 2 in the shoulder and 1 in the elbow. So something like back, shoulder, elbow, something like that.
And what did he do?
Well, with the force of the bullets knocked him over. That's why he fell to the ground. And when he fell to the ground, like I said, that's when he had to decide whether or not he was going to run for his life. And then when he did, lucky enough, he survived. And like he's in the hospital right now, very, very weak, and like he got a chance to eat, he got a chance to drink, and he was going to go into surgery today, but he didn't get a chance to go into surgery today because he ate, and now he has to fast, and he's going to go into surgery in the morning. I'm actually going to go visit him in the morning after his surgery to see
What's his condition then?
Right now, I don't think he's in critical, because like I went in and I got a chance to talk to him, and I feel like normally when you're in critical, that's a whole different thing.
Did he, again, he said he noticed the shooter when he came in. What did he notice about this guy? Had he been in the club before?
No, he said he didn't notice that. Because of where he heard the sounds coming from, that's how he was able to identify that person was most likely the shooter. And the other thing that he said that was interesting is that when he wasn't able to see behind the bar, when he was down, he said that he felt like he heard that there may have been more than one shooter. So that is also confusing, because he said he heard consistent shooting, but he said he also heard it seem like there was another gun shooting. So that's like something that I haven't even been able to piece together yet, other than talking to just Rodney.
Did he describe the chaos inside and the frantic rush to get out of there from people?
Yeah, it's almost verbatim what he said. It was very much, he said it was very much chaos, broken glass, very much a rush, very traumatic, he was very frightened for his life. And when, that's how he said he put it, that when he was running for his life, and that's luckily what he got blessed with up in Orlando Regional, where they're taking care of him right now.
What's your last name? Thank you. We're from Los Angeles. It's nice to meet you.
What's your first name?
Chris.
And it was your friend who was behind the
Yeah.
bar. Was he a bartender?
Yeah, he's a bartender there. His name is Rodney.
How did you find out about this?
Well, earlier today, I was just telling him I came out to this area to I've been trying to piece together all the people that I know out here, because this city is very small. So 103 people getting shot, like me and a lot of other people in the area, a lot of UCF students, we all know each other. So I kind of came out here trying to see if I could talk to the cops and talk to people to see who got shot. And so far they haven't released that information, but a friend of mine named Brandon, he actually texted me while I was out here saying, hey, our friend Rodney got shot 3 times. He's in the hospital right now. And I was like, all right, well, as soon as I figure out some things here, I'm going to go visit him. And then in between this time, I went over to the hospital, and as I went to the hospital, you see people that were coming out of the hospital in tears. Just person after person coming out in tears, because obviously the worst has happened. So I went in, and thankfully they patted me down to make sure that there was nothing that you can't have in the hospital. And then when I went in there and I talked to Rodney, he told me the whole story. Just to see him sitting there and to see how tragic that situation was it was a relief to see him, but it's just so sad to see that this happened to him. You know what I mean? To see that your friend got shot 3 times, it's something I'm still dealing with. Like, I can't believe he got shot. Like, I'm still just kind of dealing with the fact that he is okay and survived this, because he could easily just be another person that's dead from the shooting. But luckily, at least one person that I know is alive from this horrible massacre.
And when you think of at least 50 people perished in this awful tragedy, I mean, how do you wrap your mind around that?
Right now, it's like I can't. Like I told the other reporter a second ago, I got some information at the hospital that 9 more people may have died in addition to this, so we might be receiving information that 59 people are dead. But to see that this is the biggest incident that happened out here in American history, this is like something that you just can't fathom. This is so close to home. This is where I come out and enjoy the nightlife. This is where I go to school. This is where I work. And this is just, everyone that I know is going to know someone who is affected by this incident, and that's going to take a long time for us to recover from if we can. This is one of the biggest tragedies that ever happened as a terror attack in America.
And you said your friend Rodney described it as what? What did he hear?
Well, at the end of this conversation, he describes that he possibly heard multiple gunmen, but that was after he was knocked down and he was on the ground. But chronologically, if you go back, what he said is that he was bartending, and that when he was bartending, the woman he was bartending for in front of him, he's almost scared to like confirm this, but he's almost positive that she got shot down to death. And that was tragic for him to talk about. You can see like it was painful for him to talk about. But like, not luckily, but he was shot, and fortunately when he was shot, he landed on the ground. And when he landed on the ground, that's when he decided he was gonna run for his life. He also heard the consistent gunshots, and that you could see it in his eyes. Like, that was a traumatic thing to hear, because after gunshot after gunshot after gunshot, he's hearing also people screaming and stuff. So it was just like how you'd expect it to be, just pure chaos.
Where was he shot?
2 in the shoulder, 1 in the elbow, from what I understand. And then they are going to do surgery on him, so a full report will be done on that, and we'll have more information on that in the morning. But for now, it's just sad to see him there because he's all like wrapped up in his bandages and he's weak and he needs.
Escape?
He escaped, I think, just out of pure luck. I think just because he was behind the bar and just because the bar may have effectively covered him from other shots that could have hit him. I think that when he made the decision that he was going to run for his life, that was probably the biggest decision he's ever made in his life, to just survive something this unfortunate.
What's Rodney's last name?
Benzio.
Do you have a picture of him?
Yeah, but for now, I talked to his dad, and he said that he didn't really want people to like go over there and bother him right now.
Just for.
But so I feel like if we're gonna do pictures, we should do pictures of him tomorrow, so like he can have a night of rest and stuff. But his story is definitely gonna be something that we all need to hear.
Do you know anyone else who was shot?
I'm still trying to piece together that information because I hope that I don't know anyone else that got shot, but I am very concerned for the people of this city to know that I could definitely possibly be friends with someone that was hurt in this tragic
For asking
incident.
him later, what was your relationship to him?
Rodney's a friend that, yeah, I'd consider him a friend that we party with like downtown. He's like a party friend. He's a really fun guy. He's a really cool guy. He's a really nice guy. That's why he's a bartender out here, because people just connect with him so easily.
So he was a bartender?
Yeah, he was a bartender. He was a bartender at Pulse when it happened.
How old is Rodney? How old?
He's about 28. Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
And what do you do yourself?
Out here, I'm a student at UCF. And
Do you ever frequent Pulse yourself?
no, I don't. But because of downtown Orlando being so close, the people that go there and the people that go to downtown Orlando, they're the same faces. They're the same people that we see all the time. So to know that those people are the people that you got hurt, people that are so close to you, people that you've enjoyed spending so much time with, it's just like, that's why I'm out here trying to figure out who was shot. That's why so many people are connecting and trying to figure this all out right now, because on social media, we've all been piecing together different parts of this story that just don't add up. Like really, nobody really understands why for 2 nights in a row, one assailant came in like 3 days ago, shot Christina Grimmie, and then another guy comes from, what was it, Port St. Lucie or something like that, and then he comes out here and just completely massacres a bunch of people during, I guess, their parade event. But to know that these were not even local men, it makes the fear bigger, because like, why are people coming outside to attack us when we've done nothing to anyone else?
The presumptive nominees have also already released a couple statements, kind of framing this as sort of an issue of religious tolerance versus guns. Is it a little early, you think, to start politicizing with bodies still?
To start, yeah, I think it is early to politicize this, because we could suspect that this was a hate crime against homosexuals, but not everyone at Pulse is a homosexual. That's completely true. Rodney was bartending there. He's not gay. He's another person that loves people. A lot of these people are people that just love people. So we really have no idea why this crime happened. And we are still piecing it together, and we are still trying to figure out if there was more than one gunman. So it's unfortunate.
What kind of consequence do you think this is going to have for the country?
I don't know if Orlando City Police were ready to handle something like this. And living here, I don't really think that they were ready to handle something like this. But I think that you're going to see all the nightclubs now definitely ramp up security to the highest degree that they can, which is good. We need that. But I don't think that we're going to get over this so soon. I don't think that we're going to be able to get over something like this so easy, because the impact is too high. Like I said, like especially when there's a university not too far from here and Disney not too far from here, and we're in between both of those things. Everybody that was hurt in this incident knows everyone within a circular radius, and we're all connected, especially through like social media and all the people that we know. Like next semester when I go to class, we're all going to know people who are hurt. Rodney and his whole family are affected by this. So, Chris.
Where were you when this happened?
I was in East Orlando when this happened, so closer to the university, and I was actually with a friend who, when we got texted that this happened, her friends were texting her telling her that they were texting people who were being held hostage inside of Pulse at the time. So me and her were just so glad to have gone out that night and to have been working on other things that night, that it was just like, I told her I was thankful that she wasn't out tonight. I'm thankful that she came home, and I'm thankful that I wasn't out. And we were just like so nerve-wracked to know that our friends could be getting hurt right now. And when we were talking about the hostage situation, it almost didn't make sense because we were talking like to other people. And like by the time around like 2 or 3 o'clock goes by, and it's already like 4 or 5 in the morning, to know that there was a hostage situation for that long is something that was still, it doesn't even really seem perceivable to realize. A shooting is one thing. To hear like that a magazine was sprayed into the audience is one thing, but to hear that there was a hostage situation and these people were tormented and they were held against their will, and now they're going to be psychologically damaged for the rest of their life because of some assailant who was a crazed gunman for no one knows why. It's going to be hard to find out who these people are and how they suffered. I mean, today when I was at Waterford Plaza, that was one of the many places that we were posting on Facebook that are allowing blood donations, and people were buying water from Target collectively to bring out to the victims at the hospitals and people who are helping the people donate blood and stuff. And we're already banding together as a community. We are strong here in Orlando City, and we will continue to be strong. But
where was the biggest line to donate the blood? Do you know?
The biggest line that I saw between here and Waterford Plaza definitely was Waterford Plaza. It was a really big line of people donating blood, donating water, pushing together to come out here and help all the people who were assaulted by them.
Do you think this could have been prevented?
In my honest opinion, I think for someone this psycho, someone this homicidal, to do something this premeditated and this calculated, I don't believe that there was any way to prevent something like this, because if you have that much ill intent to murder somebody, you're probably going to do it regardless. And I don't know why they would want to do this, because it seems so unasked for. In any situation, this is unasked for, but I can't imagine why.
The bartenders that you know, or the dancers or whatever, how are they are they going to go to work again, or how do they feel?
Well, like I was saying before, I work in the nightlife too. Sometimes I rap and I'm a hype man over at Tier when we put on shows, but we've decided right now that we're going to continue to be strong for all the people. That we don't want our fans to feel like they're going to give in to terror attacks. We don't want them to feel scared. We want everyone to be safe. We want security to be beefed up. We want everyone to get patted down. We want everyone to have a safe experience, and we don't want any assailants. But I don't know if they're going to go to work tomorrow or the next day. Hopefully in a week's time we're able to get our head around this. Hopefully some time comes for us to understand when we need to warn, but this is something that we'll always remember. This is a once-in-a-lifetime tragic event that's going to stick with us for a long time.
And for you, it was a terrorist attack or attack on the LGBT community, or both?
For me, at the moment, I perceive this as a domestic terrorist attack. Because from what I understand, the gunman was an American, grew up, born and raised in America, possibly raised to hate, or possibly just decided he was going to hate. But I can't attribute to what percentage of this was a hate crime and what was a massacre. I mean, there's no real way to captivate this type of hate, because it shouldn't be a part of our society at all. There should never be 50 people executed for absolutely no reason. So it's hard to quantify, because like I was telling the other reporter, if you consider this an attack on the gay community, not everyone was gay that was killed. Not everyone that was gay that was shot. Not everyone fell in the LGBT category. But maybe they were killing supporters of that, you know? We don't know yet. And we're still trying to figure out if there was more than one gunman.
What's your name?
Chris. Yeah.
And you were there yesterday?
No, my friend Rodney, he was the bartender there last night, and he got shot 3 times.
And he's in the hospital?
He's currently, at Orlando Regional.
Chris, when did Rodney manage to escape?
Oh, immediately. He said the gunman was very fast, right? So he said that he thinks he was if he was to guesstimate the rounds, he feels like he was around the 30th or 40th person to be shot, which in his mind was a very, very, very short time. And when he heard the bullets, and then when he fell to the ground, immediately after that, he continues to hear shots and then decides to run for his life.
So way before the hostage situation.
Yeah, before the hostage situation, of course. He wouldn't have got out of the hostage situation.
Sorry, one more question. Can I just grab you for just a second? Thank you.
В колледже известно, что последние 9 лет он работал в компании, занимающейся безопасностью.